Good afternoon. It is so nice to see all of you women and men here today. I wasn't really expecting that. This applies to anyone. So, men, you're allowed to listen. Can you hear? All right, we'll go back here. I'm used to being out there, but we'll go back here. I put a few things on your table on the chairs, and if you would care to follow along, I do have an outline of what we're going to be talking about today, and I very conveniently gave you a pen if you'd like to make notes. First of all, last year on Mother's Day, when I went down and got my plain dealer paper, and I still like to read the paper, and when I opened up the real estate section, because my company works with real estate, and that's the first place I go all the time, the headlines were me. And it was no accident. How would you like to open up the paper and find that you are the headline in a very, very positive vein? It's called power positioning. I think we've all heard of that. It's kind of a buzz thing right now. But I have my own version of power positioning. When I opened up my company in 1993, a title company, I realized that nobody knew who we were or what we do. And I thought, how can I make an impact? It's like if you ask someone if they bought a house, who was their realtor, they can tell you who the realtor is, and they could even tell you probably the company if they don't remember the name. If you ask, who did the mortgage? Well, if it was Third Federal, they all know that. But they always know the name, at least, of the company, if not the loan officer that gave them the mortgage. And when you ask them, who did your title work? They don't usually know. We're the unknown. We're the Rodney Dangerfield of the real estate industry. I felt I had to do something to change that. And if you've taken any courses in business, you know that you should find a niche. Separate yourself from everyone else. Something you and only you do best. So I decided where could I be, what's a niche with title? I mean, you do closings, you do the same thing, same papers, same everything. And I thought, what area has not been touched? Well, consumer. Title to consumer was not touched. Could be called a for sale by owner, but all sellers, in fact, are the for sale by owner, aren't they? So I decided to market directly to the consumers, and I found my niche. Now, I want you to know the first thing, if you're going to do this, it's not ego, it's not conceit, it's darn good business. I had people tell me, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't, get my name out there, or I couldn't be on television, or I couldn't speak in front of a group, or I can't toot my own horn. Well, then get out of business. You need to toot your own horn, because if you don't, nobody's going to hear you. So what do? Well, there's a few things that you develop. Number one, how many of you like to go to a restaurant and brag that you know the owner or the chef? Anybody? Sure you do. How many of you like it when they come to your table and say, how was everything? Did you enjoy it? Don't you like that? Doesn't it make you feel important? How do you like walking into a store where the guy who owns the store knows you and knows what you like, has a conversation with you and says, oh, by the way, I've got something back here that I thought of you when I saw it? How many of you like that? Do you go back to those places? It's very, very important that you know who your customer is and you become the customer's friend in the business. If you're doing mortgage loans, Don't you want someone to tell someone else that they worked with you and you were terrific and they highly recommend you? No matter what business you're in, you've got to learn how to be the consumer's friend in that business. How are you going to do that? You're going to treat them special. People are really, really surprised when they come into my office, because when you walk in, it doesn't look like a title company. It could look like almost a living room. I've got flowers painted on the wall, believe it or not, I do. I have a seasonal Christmas tree, well, seasonal tree. We just put the hearts on it yesterday for Valentine's Day, and it's in my closing room. So when people sit down, they see my seasonal tree and they comment on it and they like it. They see the pictures of the people that I take of our customers. I put them on the wall. I take my picture, and it's not an ego thing, and it's not conceit, and all the articles and plaques that I have, and I put them on the walls so they can read the walls. Do you ever read the walls where you go? How many times you know how the doctor came from Ohio State and all that kind of stuff? You give them something interesting to read. You give them something about you and your company. This is how you become their friend. They're comfortable with you. The other thing is, be an original. Now, we're all an original, aren't we? There's nobody out there quite like you, is there? Who used to say that? Barnaby, right? Remember Barnaby? You are an original, but you have to develop those original, wonderful things about you. Number one, if you're in a crowd and someone sees you from behind, are they going to say, I know who that person is, they're here? Guess what? I've got crazy hair. I've had crazy hair for 10 years maybe, at least. And when it wasn't this crazy, it was still this color. I did this so when I went gray, I'd never know it. So I have crazy hair. But people know when I'm in the room. I wear different kind of clothes. Would you know from behind this is me? Of course you would. I have trademarks. I have things that people expect of me, so I know that they know I'm there. One of my favorite things, I have a Thunderbird Blue 2002 Retro T-Bird convertible. And guess what? We go all over the place together. That's my baby and me. But everybody knows when they pull in, I'm there. It's not ego. It's power positioning. Think about what you can do to set yourself apart from everyone else. Did you ever notice lately, you go to a social function, everybody there seems to wear their little black dress? The one you notice is the red one. That's for the women. Did you ever notice that the guy that wears the matching tie and the little handkerchief over here, you remember him? Think about how you can set yourself apart from everyone else. I remember when I first started working in this business, I was working for a very large title company, and I tried to think, how can I set myself apart from everyone else? Other than the fact that I was the first woman sales rep, that set me apart, definitely. But I needed something for people to know that I was there. And I became the balloon lady. Every time someone sold a house, and used my company, and needed some, I took them a balloon that said congratulations and thank you. I had real estate brokers tell me, will you get those damn balloons out of my office? And I would say to them, why? They're a sign of success for your people. They had contests to see who could collect the most. Guess who won? Me. Because they used my company. Yay. That's part of being an original. I was the balloon lady. Every time there was something going on, I would get asked, can you bring balloons? That put me where? Right up front. when you attend a function such as this, and this room is set up really nice, there are people who are in business and in sales business who pick the table in the corner against the wall because they don't want to come and sit in the middle. Pick the middle. Pick the table that everybody has to look through to see the speaker so they know that you are there. Pick the insides so they have to come through. I never, ever enter a room without looking to see where I think I can be seen. It's not ego. It's not conceit. It's darn good business. You have wasted your time. You have wasted your money if you go someplace and nobody knows that you were there, right? So be careful where you sit. It can mean the difference. This is how you become an original. Now, can you make the ordinary extraordinary? Yes, you can. Think about what you do in your business. I don't know what you all do. A lot of different things. But we all kind of do the same thing if we're in the same field. For instance, if you're a financial planner type person and you will give someone a free, sit down with them free and give them a little advice to see what they need, and it's free. And if everybody else in the business does it, so it's nothing unusual, you be the one that advertises it. People won't realize that they could get it anywhere, but they can get it from you. That makes your ordinary extraordinary. If there's something that you give in addition to regular service, make sure people know about it. Even if everyone else gives it, you be the one, you be the first one to brag it to the customers that you do it. Advertise it. It makes good sense. Everybody, every lender out there does mortgages. A lot of people do. Third Federal probably doesn't do anything any different with paperwork and applications than anyone else, but they're the neighborhood guys, aren't they? They've made themselves different, the hometown thing. But they do exactly what everybody else does. But people come to them because they feel comfortable. They're going to get something extra. They're friends. Now, how do you become the media's darling? I'm the media's darling. I have been on TV, radio, newspapers, interviewed. I'm the one that Channel 5 called and wanted to know something about the real estate market a couple months back, and Tracy Carlos came out and interviewed me. We've had a lot of media come to the office. They need, they want to know about something, and they call, gee, can we come out with our cameras? Well, of course, come on out. We love it. We've been on national TV, national magazines, as you heard. These things are not by accident. How do you become the media's darling? Read, 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 and listen. Watch the news. If there's something on the news that's a hot button with your business and you have a good opinion on it, you get a hold of those reporters and let them know that you have an opinion on this. Oh my gosh, I've had a lot of contact with the housing market in the last couple of years. We have been in Cranes. Stan Bullard will call me and say, Rachel, I know you'll be honest with me. Of course. What do you need to know, Stan? How's the market going? What's happening? And guess what? It's in Cranes. I don't pay for that advertising. If you've ever advertised in Cranes, it's pretty darn expensive. I never have paid. They always come to me. How did my company get started in the first place? The media. When I decided that I was going to market to for sale by owner company, people, and I needed to let somebody out there know, I called at the time, his name was Bill Lubinger, and he was the real estate writer for the Plain Dealer. And I had met Bill, and I strategically, over months, had placed myself at his table at realtors' luncheons. That's another thing you do, guys. Strategically place yourself with the right people. Bill considered me kind of a friend. He would recognize me. He knew who I was. Well, I called him direct to his office one day, and I said, Bill, this is Rachel. I've opened up my company. It's called Gateway Title. Guess what? What do you think about a title company that's marketing directly to the consumers and for sale by owners? He goes, huh? What? I said, yeah, because we all know that if anybody from a title company even admitted you knew for sale by owner, you were blacklisted by all the realtors. But he said, I'll be right out. And he came right out to my office. He sat with me for, oh my gosh, it was about an hour and a half, asking me all kinds of questions. And on Sunday morning, when you picked up the plain dealer, and at that time, remember the good old days when the real estate section was real fat and real big? And he had a column that went down the side. That whole column was title company markets to FSBOs. My phone started ringing, and it hasn't stopped since. And that was in 1995. So it works. But you plant the seeds. You become a darling of the media. They will call you. Don't be afraid to get out there and talk in front of people. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Why do you think I'm here today? I'm here because of two reasons. Number one, I love talking about power positioning because people will come up to me and say, how do you do that? How do you do that? One day we were at a function and the mayor of Brecksville said, oh, there's our celebrity. Well, oh, that was me. But he had seen me in the paper so many times. And I thought, I have to get this message out to other people. And I especially love chambers, as you probably have figured out by now. And just what you can do with yourself. You don't need anybody's permission to do this. You don't need anybody's permission to become special. You don't need anybody's permission to become an original. You already are. You take what that is, what you are, and plus on it, you know what that means. Grow with it and make it important. Go for the gold. If you look, you will see the Cozy 10 Under 10 award that we got. It's on the second page, I think, this. We were one of the first recipients of the Cozy 10 Under 10 award. I can't even tell you at this point how many awards we've won. I don't know, what, 20, 30 over the years. These kind of things are open to you at all times. Keep your eyes open. Start reading. Read Smart Business. Read Inside Business magazines. Start getting on the list. Start looking at social media, looking at liking pages for those people. They have awards. They have, it's not really a contest, but they're going to award somebody for outstanding business. We've been in North Coast 99. I mean, you name it. Now, those awards don't come to you because somebody says, I want to give it to you. You have to tell them you want it. And then you have to tell them why you deserve it. And if you really do deserve it, you'll get the award. I've got Better Business Awards. I've got the Torch Award from Better Business. I always like that one because of my name, the Torch Award. But these things were not because they chose me. It's because I chose them to see if they would choose me. So you go for the gold. You go for the awards. The Governor's Award, that was pretty doggone nice. But he wouldn't have known who he was if I didn't answer the questions and send him in. You've got to make it happen. You go for the gold. Just remember, above everything else, it's not ego, it's not conceit, it's darn good business and you can do it. Thank you.